talks. Like, do you not see the science chaos that is in that?
Hold on. Okay,
Oh, you just
now
got something
this
else.
you hold on, just 1 minute. Okay, to no, I need to clear this off my
Breathe,
chest.
Wajid, breathe. Welcome everyone to the third episode of The Average Humans. I'm Linoy.
I'm Advaith.
It's your boy AbdulWajid. This is the show that we talk about everything under the sun, any topic, anything, every time, which is most relevant during the time. We talk about it. Not most relevant during the time because we are always 1 week,
Irrelevant.
1 week, 1 week late because we are lazy in editing, so it takes time to edit a podcast and put it out there. See, that's the dirty
Yeah.
look that Advait gives because he's our editor in chief. Anyway, welcome to the Average Humans, guys. If you like our show so far, if you enjoyed our podcast for the past two episodes, please like, share, subscribe. Our socials are down below. Please give us a follow. And yeah, like we always say, interaction is key for us. So we would love to hear from you guys in the comment section, even on our socials, a direct message. We are open to DMs. So yeah, let's get into it.
Actually, before we start, I think there's a little thank you that's in place because we've hit 50 subscribers. It's not much, but hey,
Hey,
in
yeah.
2 episodes, we've hit 50 subscribers, and we've actually been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of friends, a lot of viewers, and giving us really valuable comments and feedback that we are actively working on. So, for those of you who are interacting with us, continue doing so. We absolutely love it. And for everyone who subscribed, thank you very much. And we have a lot more coming your way.
Come on, guys, support us. We are the small guys. Don't let the big guys win. Let's do this.
Who are the big guys
Awesome.
in
What's up,
front of us,
everyone?
though? Who are the big guys in front of us, though?
I see only
MK
Joe
Beef Steak.
Rogan.
Oh, wow. Big is not the word I would use.
That's colossal. The extra pantry colossal.
He's like the myth,
Hey,
the legend.
hey, it's the whole David versus Goliath scene right there, dude. Hey,
Myth.
Advait
Hey,
drank
was it
water.
drinking?
Oh
Advait
God.
drinking
Let's
water.
go.
Oh God.
So,
For
guys,
those
this
of
is
you
going to
who
be
like, yeah,
guys, this is going to be a regular thing on the podcast. Whenever Advait takes a sip of water, we're going to clap because me and Linoy noticed for the past two episodes when we talk and we drink off these big ass bottles, Advait never takes a sip of water, right? And we were like, okay, we got to do something to encourage him into drinking water. So this is our way of making sure that our man is hydrated throughout the episode.
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. We
yeah,
love and care
yeah,
for each
yeah.
other.
I got it. Don't worry.
Let's go, let's
Hey!
go.
He's got a
Uh,
fancy bottle too.
I hope you like the edit with your name.
That was good. That was good actually. I was bawling when I saw that.
Yeah.
I did not expect that, and I was really good. So yeah.
he actually sent me a clip of that name scroll. I'm like, this is gold.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was like, I captioned it, don't tell Wajid.
So basically, you two knew this and you did not
Yeah,
inform me.
yeah.
Fair game, fair game.
What's up, guys? How's this week been?
Uh, Lanai, you go ahead, man.
What's happening?
Oh, hectic, dude. Actually, after a long time, I took a day off on Friday, so I'm having a little long weekend, enjoying a little bit. I had some family functions, but otherwise, it's been super hectic. That grind life. But getting by, surviving the Kerala stint, and hoping to get back to Bangalore soon.
Yeah, so it's been the same over here. It's just been work throughout the week. So, like, it's the weekend for me over here. So, Friday and Saturday is the weekends over here. So, tomorrow, again, back to the grind life. So, yeah, it's just been or extra hours in the office. It's just a lot of things to get done with. So, hopefully, things will start easing down the lane. But yeah, nothing so much interesting that's happened with me personally. But yeah, as we know, things keep happening in the world, so that's why we are here to talk about. So what's up with you? What's your week been like?
Yeah, it's been decent actually. I actually had a little bit of a chilled out week. an unplanned chilled out week, but yeah, I'm dreading the coming week because it's gonna be hectic with work. So yeah, let's just make the best of this episode right now because I'll only have another. I'm gonna have a good time only next week for the next episode. So yeah. Anyway,
So you're prepared. You're prepared. You know you're going to get annihilated throughout the week this time.
prepared. I mean, I have no choice. So
You have
yeah,
no say in the matter, basically.
yeah, prepared or not, it's coming anyway, ramming me right in the face.
think, yeah, I think some of the things that I've been doing to kind of wind down after post-work hours is actually a new show, which is currently, I think, it's all the talk in the town. Loki, hey,
Look,
Marvel with
oh yeah,
another
Loki.
money-making scheme.
Hey, come on. Even if they're doing a money-making scheme, it's entertaining. So, okay, full disclosure, I haven't watched Vision Wanda or Wanda Vision. I don't know which way, what order it is, and I haven't watched the Winter Soldier and Cap, the Falcon, right? Yeah, I
Falcon.
haven't watched. Yeah, I haven't watched these two series,
Even neither have I.
which has been released earlier because I'm not too big of a fan of these characters in itself. But I'm a fan of Loki. I like his character. I like his character arc and everything. So I was like, why not give it a watch? So far, I'm finished the first episode, into the second episode, half of the second episode. So far, it's an interesting watch. I like the what is the direction they've taken with this show is a little different from the typical what do you say Avengers feel good show. It's a little different, so yeah, I like
Yeah.
it. And yeah, so far it's decent for me. So yeah, let's hope it doesn't go back to the regular stuff, but yeah, it's so far so decent.
Okay.
I mean, I watched like the Marvels, what's it called, Agents of Shield,
Yeah,
and I think the first season of that was actually pretty good as well.
yeah,
And that's my biggest fear for Loki, to be perfectly honest. I don't want Loki kind of drag on that three number
yeah.
we were talking about. If they can end this whole thing in 3 seasons, it'll be fantastic. And if they don't, it'll just be like another one for God knows what. But yeah, I think it's an interesting hook, to be perfectly honest. It'll be nice to kind of see how they play it through.
Really glad you brought up Agent of Shield. Man, the first season was the only decent season for that show. Okay, everything else was just a drag, and I've watched like season two, season three, and I was like, okay, I can't keep up with this anymore. I'm done. Right? Like it didn't bring me back to the show. So, like you said, I hope they don't ruin Loki's character by making
Mm.
it a drag show in itself.
Because
Advait,
they're going to make money out of it. Advait, yeah, hit us with your thoughts, man.
yeah,
I haven't even watched a single Marvel series since the movies came out, like the last movie came out. Like, I haven't watched a single thing. Never been really interested in it, I guess, because I don't know. I don't know. I've just not been really
I'm
hooked into it.
with you, absolutely with you. I don't think any of those things are quite interesting as it would be here. Like, I think I totally agree with Watch. It's because of the character and to a certain extent the representation of the character by the actor himself. I think
yeah,
it fit well in the movies and it's
true.
kind of paying off in the show as well. A little fun, a
So,
little quirky, interesting.
so I'll tell
You
you
watched the
this, like,
movies, right, Advait?
I mean,
yeah, I watched the
yeah.
movies. Yeah, I watched all the
All,
movies.
all
Yeah,
the movies, yeah.
I've seen all the movies, and like one of the reasons why I'm not really interested in watching like any spin-offs, like say from Thor or Loki, is only because like I'm a big fan of the Norse mythology, big fan. Like I've actually like I've read like Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology and all that, like his narration of the Norse
Okay,
mythology and all that, right? So I've
okay,
I think it's one of the best mythological stories out there. It's every kid
okay,
should actually read this also because it's like another
okay.
fantasy world in itself. And Loki particularly, he's one gangster character in the actual story. Like he's the guy who brings Ragnarok actually. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
I hear he's very evil in the actual mythologies, right?
so he is a trickster. So
Yeah, he's a
Norse
trickster.
mythology is basically nothing but perception of how you look at it, right? So that's basically
Mm,
so Thor can even be a bad guy as well, right? So you can also it's based on perception. It's just a great story where it's not about good or bad, but it's all about this story is there in the scriptures, and this is what we're putting it out there. And Loki is actually one of the
mm,
like he was like one of the main like key characters to a lot of historical things of Norse mythology, and yeah, so I really like Loki in that aspect. So I don't think I have that kind of energy to like watch Loki in a Marvel format only because it is so off from the actual Norse mythology. So it's kind of not my cup of tea, I guess.
Hmm.
This
But
Loki is more or less PG, I guess, for you compared to the,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude, like Loki's done some disgusting things in the actual mythology, but yeah, anyway. But I think like what I'm tripping on right now, like, is so you know me, right? I'm a heavy Star Wars nut.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm a little late to the party, but I just got into the Bad Batch bandwagon, and I
Mm.
just started with
I did
episode
not
one.
know.
You didn't know, right? Yeah, I just started with episode one, and dude, it's like Mandalorian. It's one up per episode basically, and
Okay.
yeah, they're just picking up right after Order 66. Yeah, they're picking up right after Order 66. So yeah, that is enough for you to start watching it. So yeah,
Hmm.
get cracking.
I
Like,
hope it's the animated series
it
though.
is animated.
Is it?
What we saw in Clone
Okay.
Wars, dude, the Bad Batch, right? Now it's just an extension
Okay.
from that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Rajat, have
And
you
that I'm
seen Clone
excited
Wars?
for.
Have you seen the Clone Wars? Yeah. Now,
I need, I
that's
need,
Yes.
I
if
need
you
to
if
watch all
if
of
if
them.
you want to
I
binge on
hadn't watched
something,
all of them.
yeah, that's
The
a
thing is,
binge-worthy
see,
show.
that's the thing. That's the problem with me right now. I can't give time commitment to any of these shows,
Yeah.
right? And I'm one of those guys. If I start, I'm not gonna end till I finish it all. And
Oh man.
I don't have that kind of time commitment. So I'm just picking and choosing my battles right now. With Loki, is just one episode for a week, so I can do that.
Mm.
But knowing the fact that all four seasons of Clone Wars is out there and all the episodes are out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the story is great. Like Linoy just like start like he just completed Clone Wars recently, right? I got him into it, and yeah, man has become a Star Wars like
Yeah.
a proper fan right now.
Clone Wars was really good, character development, right? And the best part is, A, you see a lot of production improvements, which is really good to see visually. And secondly, the way they kind of merged all the stories together, I think that was written really well. Written
Yeah.
really well. I think yeah, for those Star Wars fans out there, you know how much we love Darth Vader and his history, and it gives so much more depth to this person, and you almost fall in love with the villain. So, why not?
Yep.
It's
Yep. Yep.
absolutely fantastic.
For
There's a
me,
lot
two
of
things
shows
that
gonna be
I'm
coming
waiting
up.
for basically, like Clone Wars and Mandalorian, these are the two things that I put on my watch list. Just waiting for some time to free up so that I can sit and, binge them properly like it's supposed to be watched.
Yeah.
That's
You haven't watched
that's one of the things.
Mandalorian?
No, still, I've just kept it. I've kept it aside. The thing is, I wanted to do Clone Wars and then go for Mandalorian, and then I was like, okay, fine, let me get the right time for it. Then I'll give it the actual due diligence it needs. You know what I mean?
Oh, if you want to
So
talk due diligence, then I would suggest watch Clone Wars, simultaneously watch Rebels, and then watch Mandalorian. Or before Mandalorian,
Yeah.
watch Revenge of the Sith again because Episode 3 will completely change after watching
change
Clone Wars.
Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
after yeah. So then go watch Mandalorian and then be floored basically.
Okay,
Yeah,
will do.
yeah.
Speaking of which, let's go. Let's stick to Star Wars right now, right?
Mm.
Lenoi, your whole argument of the three movies, and stop right there. How many episodes of the Star Wars movies have come out right now?
No, I'll tell you. Okay, this is crazy. So yeah, three movies. He's not going to be interested. That's what he said, right? Like
Yeah,
they shouldn't make.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
think what they did is they made three trilogies. I think the third trilogy
Yeah.
sucked.
That is, I think, what's happening.
Yeah, the
And that's a
third trilogy
fantastic way of
sucked.
putting it.
The
Yeah, third
third
trilogy
trilogy
was a
sucked.
disgrace. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
in a very, what do you say, grandiose sort of way, my three is still holding up. The first trilogy,
yeah,
three
right.
movies,
See, this guy, right?
fantastic.
This guy will do anything to somehow solidify his argument. Such an ass, man.
But think about it. Think about it. The first trilogy, I mean, there's no question in it. It was done far back in the day, and still
Bro,
the
Advait
following, the
just
cult
bailed you
following
out with
for it.
this whole concept, so shut up.
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. But no, for me, it's again, the first three movies were obviously the first three movies. The next three were second trilogy. The last three, to be perfectly honest, I don't even know if I watched all. I think I watched two out of the three. Haven't even watched the third one. Yeah. kind of
I
staying consistent. I
watched
suppose
I watched
in
all three. I didn't, like you said, the last three weren't at all by
mm,
any means close to the first six. But the one movie which came in between, I forgot the name. It got to do with the Rebel
Oh, Rogue One.
Rogue One. That was a good movie.
I love that movie, man. It's
I
basically,
loved that movie.
yeah, it's
That
the
was
movie.
amazing, bro. That
That movie,
brought back the Star Wars feels for me,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that
true.
movie, right? They did
Yeah.
that one right, but the main trilogy of the three, that wasn't good. I did not like the whole arc of Rey, and now
Mm.
mm,
people are gonna call me names for saying that, but Rey Skywalker, come on.
Yeah, she's not a Skywalker. She's a
Like, you're
Palpatine.
not a
She's a
Skywalker, come on.
yeah, yeah. Don't you dare just take the Skywalker name, dude. I'll take it before you. Fuck
Yeah, like,
I think it's poor writing. It's not even about the characters, it's just poor writing. They just find
yeah.
so hard. When the
Yeah,
writer tries that hard, it becomes very evident when you watch stories and stuff like that. And yeah, it is what it is.
But then
yeah.
I
again,
hope
that's
it's
the
over
thing
though.
with Disney. That's the thing with Disney, right? They just milk all their money making series. Like, let's say, like last episode, we were talking about the whole live action scenario that they were doing. Like, they've run out of ideas. They're like, okay, what do we do? Let's go back to our archives and remake things. That's what they're doing, and it's actually working with them.
I think now
And
the
Pay for that.
direction.
more
I
or
think the
less,
direction. I think the direction now with Star Wars is that I think they're gonna stop with the movies and now just make TV shows on it. And I think that is the direction for Star Wars actually.
Mm,
Like now, let's
yeah,
just yeah, because now you can't fit everything into one movie. Like Star Wars becomes so big,
it's
right?
too
It's such a
much.
huge world right now for us, right?
yeah.
And the true fans only want more and more, and it's better to stay away from movies and actually continue making series. Like Ahsoka Tano's separate spin-off is coming off. It's coming. Yeah, and
Okay.
then
Oh, damn.
I think I forgot the name, but I heard it's like got to do with the Rebels storyline as well. There's a live action
Okay.
coming from that. Yeah, so let's
So
see.
basically, all the fans of each subgenre get something that they want in Star Wars,
Yeah,
basically, with the TV
yeah,
series.
Uh,
And then again, they can, what do you say, broaden the story up in the right way and not like condense it into a 1.5 hour or 2 hours and, butcher the
absolutely.
storyline completely.
yeah.
So that makes sense. And that's also partly why I enjoy Star Trek also. If you look at it, it started off with the TV series and they had that
Mm-hmm.
whole explanation of the thing. Have any of you guys watched the new Netflix series of Star Trek, the Star Trek Discovery? I'm not sure if you
No,
guys watched it.
no, not
Uh,
at
you
all.
you guys should watch it.
Not
Trust
much.
me. I'm not going to say anything, but that is one series of Star Trek. I really enjoyed watching it, and it actually did get me a little emotional towards the end where the
Oh,
whole thing
watch
was
it.
going over. Like, if you're a Star Trek fan, you will really truly enjoy it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more. So, you guys, if you like Star Trek, you should definitely give it a watch.
Yeah.
Fair enough,
So,
fair enough.
it's, yeah. And then
Unlikely
going,
that I'll watch it, but fair enough.
but going back to the whole three is the limit. What's your take on three is the limit with Avengers? See, I'm
Here's where
putting you
it
in a
breaks.
listen. I'm putting you in a
Here, I
difficult
agree. I
place, right?
agree. It's not an absolute law by any
No,
means.
no, I'm
I
not
think
saying it.
Avengers.
Yeah, but I just want to see your perspective of Avengers because honestly, now we agreed that the Star Wars having a TV series is a good thing, but the whole Avengers thing having a TV series was not a good
I
thing.
think I think there's a
So,
good reason for that because the whole reason why I got excited for Avengers is something like we discussed back in the day, right? All these comics that we know started off as comics, books, became animated cartoons, became well-produced animated cartoons, and the lore just kept building. And to finally see it on live action in a cinema, realized to almost real reality. It's very much like that whole Batman trilogy, right? It's the best representation of the lore, and I think that's why I was excited for Avengers, even though it took a lot of time. I think they planned it out well. They didn't just drop characters out of nowhere. So they did like an introduction for a movie for
yeah,
each
yeah.
character, build something up, and they kind of closed the loop. It took a lot of movies. The good thing is the Avengers themselves, I think it's just three movies. The and oh, so the
No,
first one,
four
it's just
movies.
two
So
Endgame.
Yeah,
Four
first
movies.
one,
So it's the
Ultron.
first Avengers,
Yeah.
Avengers
Ultra
Assemble, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, and
was
end of what was it? The
Endgame.
last one, Endgame.
Endgame. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think makes sense because they definitely had to represent a lot of comic book history in a TV format, and I think for that one reason, I'm kind of okay with it because even Endgame, I'm okay with. I'm good with Endgame. I'm good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm good with
Really?
Endgame.
You were
Not
okay
the
with?
best.
You were really okay with that story? Like time travel,
Yeah.
like the most cliche time travel story ever?
No,
Come on.
I
I
mean,
was okay.
I
I
like
was
the
okay with.
science
Come
of
on,
it.
listen. I was
I was
okay
okay
with
with
it.
it.
I'm not gonna what do you
Yeah.
say. Listen, they've done so much. I just let that slide. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I,
y'all are
I
too
tell you
nice,
what.
dude. They have too much money for
I
me to
think
be
they could
this
have.
nice to them, okay? Come on.
So me endorsing my the three movie structure again. In the fourth movie, they could have gone really bad. They could have done much worse, something even quirkier, even more ridiculous. But I like the whole Mobius strip. Is actually a very complex mathematical structure and trying it up to the structure of the universe and all that stuff, time travel. The part I really liked is Ant-Man coming in. I really liked how they used the technology of Ant-Man, the quantum realm, the time disruption at that sort of a scale, and that bringing in that into this whole lore, they kind of did some justice. It's not mathematically scientifically accurate, obviously, like any other movie out there, but if you overlook that time travel bit, everything else kind of gels together,
Okay,
and
so sorry.
yeah, yeah.
No. Continue, continue. Then I'll just say what I have to say.
No, I think that's about it. For me, it ended at a good note. I mean, it ended where I wanted it to end, and
Okay.
I'm glad about that.
Hmm.
And in that sense, that's where I think going back to what Wajid said, is it a good idea for Avengers to become TV shows? Not really, at least not for me, because this is a part of their story that has not been represented much in comic books and stuff like that. There are digressions, there are some lore to each character, but at this point, they're just milking the cow, you know? And I think Loki would be a great example, like I mentioned in the very beginning, because if they can do justice to Loki, which I don't know if they will, uh, they might have some potential. But again, I haven't watched the other spin-off of Marvel in terms of shows because of the history I've had with Agents of Shield. That was disappointment
Yeah,
just building upon after each series,
yeah.
and I just feel really what do you say withdrawn as a fan. So I'm okay with the movies. I'm looking forward to Loki because of the character and the representation. The story is like Advaith said, if it's not Norse mythology, right? And it'll be very, very what do you say, interesting to see how they, it's just like what they do. If they can merge all this writing into a logical ending, great. If it just diverges and just splits up into different things, then even I'm not really going to like it. But Loki is a show that I'm willing to give a chance and see how it turns
Mm.
out.
Yeah, fair
And then
enough.
give me your take.
Fair enough. No, what I was gonna say is with the whole scientific accuracy thing and all those things, even the movies which are supposedly based on loose scientific stuff like Interstellar or Gravity or all those things, they're extremely off base scientifically. There's a lot of they're extremely off base scientifically. So to expect a superhero movie like the Avengers to be scientifically accurate, come on, man, let it slide. That's what I would say, you know.
I agree. I agree. Again, I
You know.
won't say Interstellar. I mean, Interstellar and Gravity breaks. I mean, Gravity breaks less than Interstellar. I would say Interstellar really breaks after a point in terms of science. But I like how they use science to be visually accurate. I think that's all they did justice in terms of science over there. The representation of a black hole and stuff like that. It was used with a lot of that visualization was created with a lot of science and calculations done behind it. So I think they use science good over there because it gave a really nice representation until they started going close to that platform. After
Yeah,
that point, everything is just guesswork, right? Artists just
yeah,
went
yeah.
like bonkers.
Yeah, I mean,
They were like, no one can say
after they
anything.
decided to go inside, sky's the limit, right? Like imagine whatever you want,
After the
right?
pure fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
just
that's what
like
I
okay,
said.
let's just make a tesseract in there. Basically, that's what they did.
No, that's the thing. At the end of the day, the writers are at the liberty of their imagination, and they can write anything. But the problem is, even the moviegoers who are going and watching the movie, not the persons who actually know about all these scientific things and stuff like that, but the others might kind of tend to think, oh, this might actually happen, you know what I mean? But there's no basis for it. So that whole narrative, when you look at it, I would let a superhero movie slide with the scientific facts of time travel and stuff like that. I wouldn't, hold on to it, to
Yeah,
be honest. I
yeah.
would
Okay,
just let
so
it be.
then I agree to that. Then go crazy
Yeah.
wild with it, right? Like go loosey goosey with science and go do some math. Don't do some safe cliche thing like a time travel. Like it was a little safe, dude. It was a little predictable, dude. What they did.
Uh,
That's why I was kind
I
of
know, I know.
disappointed.
I'm not going to justify that the best option out there,
Yeah.
but it didn't mess that whole part. While it had a big implication on the story itself, definitely without time travel they couldn't have solved the problem. But the rest of the movie was well done. They got all the characters
This
back,
is
and the whole
this
story
is
loops were
why
closed.
I like DC Flash Paradox. Like, do you not see the science chaos that is in that?
Hold on, hold on. Okay.
Oh, you just
Now,
bought something
this,
here.
you hold on, just 1 minute. Okay. To no, 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 I need to clear this off my
Breathe,
chest.
Wajid, breathe.
DC, why are you guys so shit in making live action movies, but amazing when
Yeah.
it comes to your animations? Like, why can't you just do the same thing over here also? Look what Avengers did. Look what
Yeah.
Marvel did. Like, it's not difficult. Like, okay, granted, Marvel has a very happy go feel and a good happy vibe to their movies and all those things, and DC doesn't have. But what I'm talking about is in pure technological terms, like with the CGI and the animations and all those things. It exists, so you can't come and tell us that the best movie you could give us was Batman versus Superman. Martha, come on, come on, like. Your animation is so brilliant, yet your live
Man, I
action is so
forgot that
shit.
was their line, dude. I forgot.
I'm like, are you
That is not a
kidding
movie
me?
I have watched completely because it just had such bad reviews. I mean,
Yeah.
once a movie tanks so much, you really need to justify the time you put into it. And it's not a movie I don't think I completed that movie ever. I just know bits and pieces. I actually watched that 4 hour version of Justice League that they
Oh,
put
the
out
That
Schneider
there,
was
cut?
decent.
and I
That was
yeah,
decent.
the editor's cut.
I
That
haven't
was
seen it
decent.
yet, though.
But
I mean,
for 4 hours, it was a little too long. But it was better than the original Justice League. That's a given.
agreed. Yeah, agreed.
It was
I
better
think
than the first
why
Justice
I
League
could
for sure.
enjoy it why I could enjoy that 4 hour version was that, like I said, I haven't actually watched a lot of DC live action because, like Budget said, why DC, why? But uh, for someone who hasn't watched any of those previous movies of DC, that kind of movie summarized it all really well. There's a lot of repetition and stuff like that, a lot of copy and pasting and stuff, but it all made sense in one movie. So hey, not bad, not the best movie out there by any means, but not bad. For me, the biggest problem I have with DC is visual choices, right? The colors they chose, the theme, the general note of sadness in the story. Yes, you are a story. I need to bring out the sadness to make the happiness feel better. But damn, son, put a little color in there. Make the blues a little more blue. Make the reds pop a little bit more. Everything is just that dingy, dark
Yeah,
blue
it's a very
tone,
dark,
cold, very
dark
cold tone.
goth vibe.
Yeah.
It's got a very emo
I
vibe
think
to
they
it.
went a little bit overboard with that, and I think that's
Yeah.
the
No, that's the thing with
like.
Zack Snyder. His direction for the movies is also that kind of a color board and mood board. So that's the way he wants to take it. All right, that's totally fine with
Yeah,
me.
he's
That is
As
his
long
choice,
he's
as
highly
definitely. But
yeah,
theatrical with his way of movie making, basically.
yeah. For me, I was happy with this Zack Snyder cut just because they actually introduced Darkseid into the whole,
Outside, yeah.
whole thing, and I was happy because all of us know it was Darkseid who brought the Justice League together initially,
Mm.
according to the
Mm.
comics and the
Yeah.
animation series and all those things. And in the first Justice League, they did not have any mention of Darkseid, which was kind of annoying. And the second part, when how Superman just came in and the day became better all of a sudden, and Stephen Wolf became,
yeah,
you know, powerless in front of Superman, and I was like, okay, so the Justice League is the rest of the people in the Justice League is just the roadshow, and Superman is the main guy. It kind of doesn't fit well for me. That's where I feel where Avengers have balanced it out. Yes, even in the animation of the DC series, if you look at it, each superhero has their own strengths and weaknesses. Yes, Superman is the most powerful of them all, but then even Superman has some flaws in the animation, unlike what you say how they are portraying him in the movies. So, yeah, that's why I don't like the DC movies, man. They need to really grow up. Like, look at the look. Okay, take that back. I love the Batman trilogy. I love the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. That's the only exception in the DC live action series that I would give some really high praise to. But other than that, nah, man. Like the animation is so good. It's beyond good for me. Like
Yeah, DC animation,
Flashpoint
Flashpoint. Oh my
Paradox,
God.
the
Oof.
Killing Joke, the Killing Joke,
Killing Joke, yeah, the
the
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, Justice League Wars, then
There's a new one called Apocalyptic Wars, 1 and 2. I
Apocalyptic
don't know
Yeah,
if
Wars 1 and 2 with
that was
Constantine
that was
being
just
featured
chaos,
in it.
dude.
Yeah, with
dude, that
Constantine
was
being
something
featured in.
else.
All those things like so brilliant, man. Like
Absolutely.
why can't you do something like that in live action? Like trust me, people are going to throw the money at you. But no, we got to have that dark emo goth vibe going on and all those things. Even the animation is dark, okay? I'm not saying it's not dark, but it actually makes you happy to watch it. But the movies is like ah.
I mean, advice to DC out there: learn production from Marvel and then make Apocalyptic War in live action. Just copy the same thing. Don't mess around with the story. The story is really good. Just copy Apocalyptic War from your newer animation movie. Make a live action out of it. I take my money. Take my money. But don't get Zack Snyder involved because of all the cringiness, because it's already a very grim story. And that story, because of how grim it
Yeah.
what it sells, it just sells like hotcakes. Yeah, oh, take.
Yeah.
And damn, that is something I'll be excited to watch. But like we all discussed right now, DC live action,
Not the best, not the best by any means. Like
not the
they need
most
to.
bankable.
I know, and I know one guy who is such a fan of Zack Snyder, and he's such a huge fan of the whole Zack Snyder cut and everything. So hopefully he will be coming on as a guest, hopefully in the future with us on the podcast. He's
Oh.
a film creator by himself and a content creator himself. So it'll be really interesting to have this revisit this conversation that we had with each other today with him and see what from a content creator and a filmmaker's perspective what he has to say, to be honest. So we will have that conversation later on. But yeah, then what else, man? We've been talking about movies
I
and
think
DCs for
actually
so
before we
long.
get to the next part, before we get to the next point, I think Wajid gave a small, what do you say, Easter egg out there. Yes, everyone, we will be bringing in other people as well. It's just not going to be the three of us sitting and talking forever. We are actively working on making this a more exciting community where anyone who's an average human can come in here and talk to, be a part of the discussion, talk to us. We can talk to them and have more great conversations because that's the entire essence of this channel. It's
Yep.
conversations between average people. And we are definitely working on that. And if you engage with us enough, trust me, we might reach out to you. So like,
Yeah.
share, subscribe, do all that.
Subscribe. Do
Ping us,
all of
DM
those
us.
things.
Goddamn.
Yeah, let us know what you feel about the whole podcast, how you liking the vibe, and if there's some important topics that you would like to discuss with us live on here, we would be most welcome to talk to you about it and see what works for all of us. And like the title says, the average humans, none of us are experts in any of
The
these fields.
community, yo, let's go.
Yet we have the balls to give advice to DC by telling them to follow the footpath of Marvel in
No,
movie
I think that's
creation
a
and all those
great
things,
place
you know.
because if we are a community of average humans who are the people who pay for these movies, we are the
Yeah,
ones who go to these movies in bulk and make them those multi-million, multi-billion dollar box office hits. So they might listen to us. Let's get 1,000 subscribers and send a note out to DC. Hey, we got
yeah,
popular opinion.
yeah, exactly. And Marvel, uh, I don't mind getting that bling bling since we've talked so many great things
Oh
about you,
God,
and
dude,
that
he and
has
his
been
endorsements, man.
Classic endorsement, watch it.
and that has been the weekly endorsement by AbdulWajid. Thank you.
Talking about endorsements, I think something really fun happened over the last week in the world of sports. And again, as always, thanks to the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo, we have something fun to talk about. So I don't know if you guys are
uh,
aware. I'm sorry, you guys are aware of what happened. It's such an innocent gesture, right? And there are two sides to this argument that I will kind of present. I'm talking about this whole situation in the press conference where Ronaldo sat down. There were two bottles of Coca-Cola in front of him, and he took the two bottles of Coca-Cola and just to the side of the frame where it's completely invisible, took a bottle of water, hey, aqua, and it kind of just went on with his thing. Aqua.
Agua. Hold on.
Aqua, yeah. Now, see, I won't say it hypocritical because definitely Cristiano Ronaldo is someone who came from a lot of. He did not come from a what do you say privileged background, so he definitely had to work his way up. And back in the day, we know that he has been a spokesperson for Coca-Cola. But I think anyone who knows Cristiano Ronaldo knows about his health regime, how particular he is about his own health, his health of his family, and the general advice he gives to any athlete out there. So he definitely avoids all these soft drinks. Maybe take that break to applaud. Yes, hydrate people, and it's not just for Advaith. Everyone should stay hydrated. Drinking water is very important. Moving on. So someone who actually endorsed Coca-Cola back in the day, and definitely he's at a point in his life now where he does not require the personal endorsement of Coca-Cola. He's well off at this point, and I think he's standing true to his whole philosophy, health philosophy that he's actively preaching, which is to avoid sugars, to avoid chocolates, to avoid all these saturated fats that are generally not good for you. So a very simple gesture like that had such an impact on the market value of Coca-Cola. I think it's just stock prices. It's not a direct loss for the company. But 6 billion,
yeah.
that is something.
It was
That is
five, I think.
something, isn't
I
it?
think it's
Five
five.
point two, 5.5, I
Yeah,
think is
something around
where
there.
the
There's a
numbers flopped.
fluctuation. Yeah. And like you said, I really like the way you put it with the whole endorsement thing which he did before. Come on, man, give the guy a break. It was like 15, 16 years ago.
Exactly.
People learn throughout the ages, right? Like in the previous episode also I mentioned, I am by no means a Ronaldo fan boy. I'm a Messi fanboy, right? And for me to say give the guy a break, it kind of hurts that I'm, telling give the guy a break, but it's actually the honest truth, man. Like people change. It's like it's 15 years ago people had different priorities. He must have not known better. Like Linoy said, his circumstances were different at that point of time. His circumstances have changed. His
He was a growing
viewpoints
star
have
back then. He
changed.
had
You
to do what he
grow.
had to do.
Yeah, exactly. You grow as a person. You learn new stuff over the years, and for people to call him out and call him an hypocrite for something that he did 15 years ago. Come on, man. The people who are calling him out, go back 15 years and see what kind of stupid shit that you guys used to do. You know what I mean? It's so
Uh,
easy for people to point fingers at each other and blame people and call people for hypocrites, and yet when they point one finger at them, they are not realizing the rest of the fingers are pointing at themselves, and they do not
Oh,
think that way.
the
So I
lines
hate
that
that.
Majid just pulled. Oh, one finger at you, three finger. I
philosophy.
haven't heard that in a long time, dude.
But it makes sense, bro.
No, it
Think about
It
it.
does.
It
does, it
makes
does.
so much sense, dude. Like I've heard that line throughout my childhood, right? While growing up, like don't point fingers at other people. Look at yourself. Reflect at yourself. And it makes total sense, right? Look at the way people react on the internet. And it's like such a huge trolling community, and it's just become a culture of trolling and making people feel bad about themselves instead of uplifting each other. It's kind of messed up. Yes, you do have the
Mhm.
good side of internet, but then you see the majority of social media reacting this way. I was like, yeah, whatever, man, just let it be, to be honest. But like Linoy said, one person moving a bottle and bringing such a huge fluctuation in the market, that's insane, dude. That's just
That's
insane.
insane.
That just
I
shows the
mean,
power that
Uh,
he
power.
has.
I think the one,
That's
I
like
think the one
Elon
thing I
Musk
want to
with
add over
Elon
there.
Musk and his tweet with crypto, dude. It's basically
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes to show that one person with one act can change the dynamics of the market, and it's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
It's
man.
scary that these people have so much of power, to be honest.
It's
Like
crazy that
a
people's
learning
money
point.
is invested into people's actions, dude. Like it's basically that
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, exactly. So
No,
true.
from a consumer point of view, right? I think there has to be a learning for us as well. And the learning, I think, after all these years of watching consumer media, I think back in the 1990s, 1980s, this is when the whole trend of having spokespersons, hiring people to kind of represent your brand kind of comes into play. And it worked in that time, in the 90s, 2000s, all of the time kind of worked. At this point, anyone who's been around, who's lived long enough on this planet and has consumed consumer media, know that these people are paid to represent a brand. It does not by any means just have the claim that these people actually ethically support it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just they're leveraging their PR power, their popularity to endorse a brand. And it's just like an ad. People who, what do you say, take part or act in ads don't necessarily abide by those products in their day-to-day lives. So if
yeah,
Ronaldo was a spokesperson for Coca-Cola, he was doing what he did. He's leveraging his popularity to make some money for himself and endorse a brand. That's all it is. I personally think it's absolutely hypocritical for anyone in today's age to think that if a spokesperson is actually speaking for a product until they actually actively call out. Like there are people who stand by products and say that this is something that I use in my everyday life, blah, blah. There are some of them. I'm not really discrediting all of them, right? But
Yeah.
the majority of spokesperson out there, they were paid a very handsome amount of money and they represented whatever they were asked to say from that script. And it's kind of hypocritical for us in 2021 to go back in such a long time frame and be like, oh, hey, you said this 15 years back. Learn. Come on, guys. Give me 100 million. I will probably say a lot of things that I don't believe in.
No, you
Just
know the kind
give me
of
that
people
check.
I
We'll
actually,
find out.
the kind, the action. This just reminded me back in the day. Like I don't remember, what's her name? That Wonder Woman actress.
dude, that's what I was gonna say,
Gal
dude.
Gadot.
Gal
MKPHD,
Gadot.
what do you say?
Gal
Gal Gadot.
MKPHD found her. She tweeted from the iPhone for a
iPhone and for promoting a Samsung or a OnePlus phone, right?
no, some
Yeah,
Oppo phone, I think. It was an Oppo phone or
Oppo,
some
Huawei, or something like that.
some phone.
some
Huawei.
Android
It was
phone, right?
Huawei. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a
okay.
Huawei. What do you say? Android phone, and she tweeted from an iPhone promoting.
Yeah, see, those
and
kind
I
of
mean,
people,
and
yeah,
her
bash
team
them
blocked. Her team blocked MKBHD on Twitter, man. That
for
was
calling
so
her out, right?
sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so stupid.
But it was facts, bro. He just
Yeah,
called her out
see,
for like, correct your mistake. When you're endorsing something, endorse it through the right medium at least.
properly,
Come on.
exactly.
Come
When
on.
the
Don't be
deal
so
is
lazy.
active, be actively aware of what you're doing. Because
Yeah,
if Ronaldo was still endorsing Coca-Cola and he did that, he'd be the biggest idiot online in current media right now. But
true.
he's not. He's not currently endorsing this thing, and he can not definitely do whatever he can definitely do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And sticking by more of his latest principles. I don't think latest principles. There's more consistent principles about health and maintaining your own, what do you say, physique and stuff like that. So yeah, don't blame people for going against what they said about something that they got money for a long time back. They got money for it, guys. They were actors.
Yeah, but let me tell you something though. Like you said, like give you 100 million and you would say things that you don't believe in, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I No, man, that's not me. I can't do that. Like you give me like how much ever you want. Like, nah. Like, if I actually like a product, yes, I might endorse it. Or if I'm, what do you say, maybe let's say indifferent to the product. Let's say I'm indifferent to the product also, I might endorse it. But if it's something that does not, it's not in my belief system, and if I actually do not like the product and stuff like that, whatever amount of money comes to me, I would never endorse it.
I
So
mean,
I just needed to put
I
that
didn't.
out there. Maybe I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
makes sense. Makes sense.
you also have that
Yeah,
same thought process. So let's not have people
I
confusing what we meant by the 100 mil. So I just wanted to clear that disclaimer, and I don't want cancel
yeah, I
culture
think
coming into our comments right there.
I think no, I think you're very true what you just said. I definitely will not endorse something that I'm what do you say, constantly on the opposite end of the argument. Like I cannot endorse a lot of things that I don't definitely believe in. And if not believe, I think if I have a very strong stance against that product, then yeah, no amount of money can change my opinion because
Yeah.
I don't mind, like I said, things that I'm indifferent to. Hey, uh, 7 Up. I like 7 Up, but I'm not a big proponent for it. Give me a
Yeah.
100 bill. I'll stand next to Fido, and I think Fido and I will look really great in the frame as well. So, hey, I'm up for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, makes sense. Like it's the same thing. It's the same argument. Like if Huawei comes and tells me to endorse a Huawei phone, not in a million years am I going to buy a Huawei phone. I'm a OnePlus guy when it comes to Android, right? So not in a million years would I buy a Huawei phone. But I have no issues with Huawei, so yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
But you'll
It
definitely tweet
is,
from a Huawei phone, right?
yeah, yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He gonna be smarter than Tom over there.
I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
Got you.
The Marvel money is not coming in. Huawei, hear
Oh
us out.
wow,
I know,
relentless.
Oh,
I know, I know you guys are not doing so well without having the Android and everything. I'm pretty sure the average humans can kickstart your new generation platform. So get in touch with us. We are all ears.
I do want to actually talk about that for a quick bit. I'm a tech geek. I like staying in tune with tech and stuff like that. And there are a lot of Chinese companies that we are aware of, right? We know the Mi, Xiaomi, or God knows whatnot. There's so many companies out there. But Huawei is one of those companies that actually makes fantastic hardware. I'm not going to talk about the software side of things. Definitely, they kind of deserve the problems that they kind of are facing. But I have used some Huawei extraordinary products, right? They have this incredible laptop. I think it's slimmer than a MacBook, and it's built all Huawei. It's copy paste, right? Oh, Apple
Yeah,
copy paste, but they pasted it so damn well. Like in a Windows system, God damn, a Windows system without fan, without air cooling, no thermal throttling. I used a laptop. I think it's extravagantly expensive as well. I think that it's called the Huawei Notebook or something, and it's like 2.5 plus Indian rupees. And but damn, touchscreen. It was arguably one of the best
dude, without
Windows
a
laptops
fan.
I've used in. Yeah, it's completely solid state, and it is genuinely one of the best laptops I've used in a long period of time. It just
Okay,
looks good, feels good, good
interesting.
keyboard. So in terms of hardware, Huawei is one of those kind of companies that did an actually fantastic job. Even their phones, while we obviously cannot envision or think about phones without Android, if it's not iOS, it doesn't make sense, right? I think they are
Yeah,
actively working on something called Huawei OS or something like that. I don't know.
yeah,
I
something
don't, I
like
don't, I
that.
don't
Yeah.
recall the name, but their phone, the hardware of their phones were quite impressive, and I think it's really sad that that company took its all shady business into. I mean, they did not do their shady business properly. I think all major companies will have some shady business going on, but if they had done it better, they could have been still relevant. I don't think they're not irrelevant, but they would have been even more relevant in the market because they have fantastic hardware products. They have engineering that goes into it. Even if it's copying stuff, you can copy something in a bad way or you can copy something in a good way. And I think Huawei is one of those very few companies that copy things in a good way and produce products that are sort of worth your money.
Yeah.
2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. It's not only what you say with the mobile devices. When I say mobile device, a laptop, mobile phones, or anything, but they are also in the networking side of creating a lot of equipments like the routers and the servers and stuff like that.
Big
So
time.
yeah, they are like you said, their hardware technological prowess comes in deep. You know, they
Big time,
have
big time.
their hands in almost everything. So yeah, it's just that they weren't smart about their whole
They weren't smart. Yeah, data
privacy
management and
things and
stuff.
all those
Yeah.
things, data
Mm.
management and privacy stuff. So that's what happened to them. But yeah, it is what it is. Chinese companies are always going to take your data publicly and say they don't care about it. The American companies are always going to take our data privately and say they care about it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have these huge data sets of people living in different demographics, and we marketers just buy those data sets and push the ads that we need to make sure our products work well. So it's as a consumer of these products, it's really annoying that what is happening with your data because you're on the other side being evil and targeting yourself with the data sets that you have. So yeah, it's kind of an up and down situation.
Speaking of Chinese companies, I want to talk about a particular Chinese lab. Have you guys read about the whole? Have you guys read about the whole Fauci email leak that happened? It happened the
Yeah,
past
yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah. I haven't gone in details with it.
Yeah, I just briefly touched
Yeah,
upon some news
yeah,
articles, some
exactly.
stuff here and there.
Because
So
Joe
it
Rogan also was talking about it,
he
so
was
I
talking about it,
saw
right?
that. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there is an insinuation that U.S. knew about like they were dealing basically they were funding this lab basically and speaking to the virologists of the labs, and then they knew about the virus and it being leaked, and they withheld that information. So that's the whole conspiracy theories that have been coming out. But then I have been reading articles. So what I'll do is let me put it up there on the screen so that everybody else can also see.
Okay,
Hold on. Yeah, let's go through the article together.
cool.
Yeah. Just to kind of state one thing though, while I definitely am not a I don't like propaganda towards like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. When COVID came out, I knew deep down this is not a natural virus evolution because it hit us too hard and too specifically. And that is not how a natural virus kind of comes into play. We've had the history where natural viruses did evolve because of species displacement and all that stuff. But this is something that I kind of had always deep down. It did not fit with all the historical pandemics that we have had faced over time. So yeah, my 2 cents. Otherwise, let's go over the article.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to what you said, I mean, whatever the reason was for it to break out, right, or however they talk, like the fact that there were countries that claimed to take care of us, knew about this, and withheld it, like, come on, dude. Like, that's just wrong beyond wrong.
And not cool.
That's
Yeah.
just evil, and let's just say that out loud. That is evil. And, like, they ruined
It's
our
not
world.
just evil. It's there are very strict laws that kind of dictate the terms of biological warfare, especially after the World War II. I think there was an instance where France did something or something was done to France in terms of biological warfare, where the enemy or the defending army released poisonous gas on the French intruders or something like that. I'm not really sure about the history over there. Something
Yeah,
to do with one of these countries. And since then, there have been really strict rules about how you can engage in biological warfare, which is
yeah,
more often than not completely not allowed.
yeah.
And while this is not warfare, definitely I don't think this is war. It's just a science experiment gone wrong. But if we had known more of it, again, it's not established, right? I'm just kind of mentioning as someone who's very deep down in science and evolution and stuff like that. I know my history in terms of pandemics and stuff. It just doesn't fit the narrative as easily as the other pandemics that we've had to face.
So what I have here is basically an article that says Fauci emails prove nothing about a COVID lab leak. The funding of a risky
Hmm.
research is all that he might need to explain. If there's any scandal revealed by the emails of Fauci recently released after a Freedom of Information Act request by journalists, it's that scientists were clueless at the start of the pandemic. They didn't know what to do about it or where it came from. Both conservative and liberal leaning pundits have spun the email release to different ends, either revealing that Fauci hid critical information from the world or that he was a nice guy who worked hard and still had time to answer emails. What? Okay. Then those saying Fauci knew from the beginning of COVID's possible origin in a Wuhan lab, which has been neither proven nor disproven, cite an email from Scripps research biologist Christian Anderson, who wrote to Fauci in January 2020 that the virus's genetic information looked inconsistent with the expectations from evolutionary theory, and that one has to look really closely at all of the sequences to see that some of the features potentially look engineered. This is not a scientific conclusion, but a single expert's preliminary opinion. It would be irresponsible to throw around accusation based on this email. Moreover, Anderson argued in a scientific paper published in La La La, this is all nonsense. But yeah, I mean, I think people are like just desperate to find a conspiracy into this because, like, because they need to. Like, I think like people are tired of staying caged up like this, right? And
Yeah,
that's basic.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
Uh,
My
Yeah, Wajid.
thing, my thing with this whole thing is, okay, people are desperate to find some conspiracy because they're fed up sitting caged up and all those things. Even if they prove it's a conspiracy, what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
What
That's my
had to
point as
happen,
well.
what had to happen happened.
Yeah.
Irrespective, it's a, what do you say, made up virus or not made up virus. We have to stay indoors. We need to do all our precautionary methods. We should follow all the precautionary steps that needs to be followed to make sure the virus doesn't spread out, right? All those things will still apply. Nothing's going to change about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, given that the fact that, okay, fine, what if it was a man-made disaster and we didn't know about it and we got to know about it? Yes, things change a little bit in the perspective side of things. Like, oh shit, we did that to ourselves, or those people did that to us, and stuff like that, and we can blame people. But at the end of the day, nothing changes.
So,
Everything
I
remains the
absolutely.
same.
yeah, so
You know what I mean?
what I think, right, like what needs to be done right now. So what has happened. There's no point, right, uncovering a conspiracy. I mean, there are dedicated tasked people or teams to figure that out, and if they do, well and good. But I think overall, in the general, like what we need to figure out is that I mean, remember like when 9/11 happened and how the whole airport security changed after that, right? It changed because of 9/11, right? I think now funding labs should be taken to another level, like not another levels of security should be layered into funding labs basically, and especially with risky experiments like this, like working on viruses, right? Yes, we do. It is essential to fund it and essential to know what we need to what we can learn from it and how we can better from it. But I think there needs to be additional levels of security layered on it so that we can avoid being hit with a pandemic. Because if this is how careless we're going to be, I mean, our life is going to be nothing but a series of bloody pandemics hitting our faces, dude, and I can't take that anymore, right? So yeah,
When was the
Uh,
last
I,
pandemic recorded in the in our history? Is
it's
something
the Spanish flu,
1920s,
right?
right?
The Spanish flu, right?
The
no,
1920s?
no, what? Dude, polio, smallpox, even smallpox was, I think the last case of smallpox was back in 1970s, something like that. But there were active minor pandemics going on all around the world
No,
because
that's
I
an
think it was
epidemic.
only,
So that's an epidemic. When it
Yeah,
comes to the whole world scale, it's called a pandemic, right?
pandemic.
So I'm talking
Mhm.
about when was the last large-scale pandemic that happened in our history? In
Let,
1920s or before that? Was it the Spanish flu was the last one?
let me check it out right now.
Just
So
check it
I
out.
don't think there, like honestly, from my reading of pandemic histories or epidemic histories, there hasn't been something that has been this global ever before. There has been migration of epidemics, so diseases that are born in Europe go to America, and that
Yeah.
wreak havoc over there. And similarly, some stuff happening in Europe, some stuff happening in China. They were all quite localized. I don't think there has been a global pandemic like this ever before. There were large
That's
scale epidemics, but I really don't think there's history of such a thing happening because there was
uh,
just no means of transporting humans like that,
exactly,
you know? They
exactly.
just never existed.
The way we travel every day, one person can be in London the one day, and the next day he can be in Shanghai.
Anywhere.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's ridiculously advanced right now, our travel thing. No,
This is the
the
Oh,
reason
dude, we
what
forgot
I was
about the
getting.
AIDS pandemic, dude. The AIDS pandemic was the last one actually before.
AIDS makes sense,
Yeah,
yeah.
AIDS pandemic,
Okay, so
1981 to the current day. That is
yeah,
full.
Makes sense.
so what I'm saying, what I was trying to bring in was, I feel like all the big pandemics when they've happened, there has been some kind of financial consequence to it, to the world
Hmm.
economy and everything. So if you look at the impact of the coronavirus right now, I think this must have been the biggest impact when it comes to our finance, right?
Oh,
Obviously.
definitely.
Obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Big time.
So it's like a
Even when it
reset.
was HIV and stuff, even if it was HIV and stuff, there has been no point in history where such a large populous Earth has been asked to actively not socialize, not go out of their houses. It never has happened.
Yeah.
Even for like Black Plague and stuff, well, A, we do not have the scientific what is knowledge to kind of put such measures in place. But there was never such a global what do you say handbook put out for people to follow. And the financial implications of all this, I think the best way to look at this is that online industries boomed because it became the
Mm,
only way possible. Small scale
yeah.
industries, like physical industries, just crashed down to the bottom so hard that it almost seems unreal for them to start back up, because we'll have to go into a time in the future where we all can start getting out more naturally. Naturally, I mean, like without being scared of being infected if I go out. Even now, I think with all the vaccination and everything, definitely India is not a place for reference. But I think what you can speak for this. I think even currently, Saudi is kind of slowly coming back to life, right? I think
Yeah.
things are becoming more
Yeah.
normal, and it's the same thing with all the other major countries that are vaccinated. Things are
Yeah.
just starting to be normal, and we'll have
Yeah.
to give that another year, wait for third wave, see what happens over there, and post all of that, post a point where we have enough medication in place for enough people on planet Earth that we can go back to a normal life. Only when then will this financial situation kind of reset to back before pre-COVID,
Yeah.
because
But when
this
you
is something
say
that's never
go
happened
back to
before.
normal life, I don't think I'll.
There's no
Okay, this is
normal.
me. Yeah, for me personally, I don't think there's gonna be a normal anymore. Like, I'm gonna think twice before I shake my hands with a person. I'm gonna think twice what do you say, to not wear a mask and walk outside. And the thing is, I know people, I know friends, and all those things who still like COVID has the beginning of COVID where it was at the peak, and now where it's even gradually coming down, who still were the same before COVID and after COVID, like the way they
No learning. That's sad.
interact with each other, the way they socialize with each other. I know people who are exactly the same, and I'm like, and when I interact with them, it's like you're the odd one out. You could say, like, if you don't be normal with them. So that's kind of scary, to be honest. It's not sad for me. It's kind of scary, to be honest. Like, what has to happen in this world for people to actually, start taking things seriously? You know what I mean?
I mean, you'll
That's
always
the thing.
have
That's the
you'll
scary
always
thing. That's the
you'll
scary
always
thing.
have various kinds of people, right? You'll have the wise ones who will actually practice precaution before being a victim to it, and then there are those who are ignorant to the entire thing, and then they catch the virus, and then they understand post. I mean, be after that, like how serious it is and why it's important to stay at home. You know how many people have actually come and told me, like, dude, I got the virus. I now know what it is. Stay at home. Like they've
You're
come
saying
and
this,
told,
right?
yeah,
You're
and
saying
I'm
this.
just
I
like,
know people.
I know we have to stay at home. I know, and people are just telling me like, now I understand. I'm like, it's sad that you had to get it to understand the
Hey,
seriousness of it, right?
dumbass.
But
It's just
but
sad.
but Advait, I know people who've got the virus and who said, "Ah, it's just a cold, man. Don't what do you say, blow it up to something that is not. So you'll get over it."
Bless
And
their
Watch a
immunity,
graphic video
bless
of
bless
I'm
their
like,
immunity, but ignorant nonetheless. Bless their immunity, but
Dude,
ignorant.
immunity has nothing to do with this.
I know what
Immunity
you
has,
mean.
I
I
mean, I
know
won't
what
say
you
immunity
mean.
has nothing to do with this, but the thing is, if you really want to understand what COVID is, you need to understand what is the life cycle or the process cycle of the virus. It is not meant to give you cold. Cold is just a side effect of it being inside your body. It is
Yeah,
actively destroying the cells in your fundamental cell structures of your lung. That
yeah,
is what it's doing. That's why it's a problem. Especially, again, we are privileged enough to have lived 30 years before something like this hit us, you know. But there are people who are just starting their lives, kids, babies, youngsters who are 10 years old. And imagine having long term damage, even if you recovered from
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Because this is something we have no data on at the moment. It's just been 2 years. Give it five, give it 10 years, then we will get the data of what long term effect of COVID or what is iterative exposure to COVID can kind of do to
yep,
people. God, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best for a lot of people out there. I'm hoping for the best for a lot of the future generation. Like Wajid said, us not learning or learning a story is or a lesson is a whole discussion on itself. But
yeah,
I do feel bad for the future generations because their reality is going to be fundamentally different because what we are refusing to learn, they are born into and they will kind of live with it. And it kind of goes back to that discussion we had about online life, right?
yeah.
yeah. It's the same
Things
thing.
like this
Like
just kind
now,
of become
if
a
you look at it,
catalyst.
it's the same thing with the anti-vax people. I'm like, look, look. Okay, okay. Let's play the devil's advocate over here, right? All three of us over here are not like, we are like, okay, we all taken the vaccine, we all want to take the vaccine, we are okay with it, right? And then there are the people who are like, no, the vaccine is a conspiracy, you can't force that onto me, I'm young and healthy, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, you're young and healthy, but what about the people at your house? What about the people in your workplace? Are they privileged to be young and healthy as you? Are they privileged to be, what do you say, strong enough that if you get the virus and you spread on to them, that they'll be okay with it?
Yeah.
So stop being selfish for a minute and just go get the goddamn vaccine. Unless, unless for the argument's sake, say it doesn't work. It's not gonna kill you to get the vaccine.
Yeah, man. Just get a fever
You know
for
what I
us, bro.
mean?
Get a fever for
You
the
get a
world, man. Yeah.
yeah, get a fever for the world.
The problem with vaccine that I have is the role of big pharma companies. It is a inescapable way. It's like such a good way to make money. It's too good
True,
to be true.
Yeah.
So
true,
that part is definitely there. The financial, the big pharma, the
true.
consumerism, that part is there. Overlooking that, the benefits of vaccine are quite evident. And I think the one way to look at it is that I think our generation has the privilege to be anti-vaccine. But my parents lived in a time where smallpox, smallpox, particularly measles, these are active, what is it, diseases. Polio, to a great extent. You have no idea the impact polio has had on our history. There
Yeah.
are famous rulers that we know and talk about who were severely, what do you say, affected by polio as children. And we were born into a time where our parents were not scientifically literate enough to have an opinion on the matter. They were living in a time where this was actually a big threat to their own life and the life of their possible children. And they took the measure to kind of go ahead and take up vaccines. Well, whether these vaccines had microcomputers inside to track people or not, I don't know. But it did solve a problem. And that's the reason why most of us are over here. Honestly, if you look at the numbers for smallpox, it boggles your mind. It affected us humans for like 500, 600 years. Straight up.
Yeah.
It was a plague that just wouldn't go away. The bubonic plague, again, we didn't have a vaccine for it per se, but it keeps coming and going, and now we have measures to kind of take care of it because we know the impact of this particular virus that can happen. It is because that our parents took so many vaccines that we currently are kind of look at us. We can have a liberty or the privilege to be anti-vax or whatever. I am someone, like I said, I think vaccines are definitely a possible remedy in dire situations. I haven't gotten my first shot yet, and I can't tell you how frustrated I am. I actually left Bangalore thinking, hey, I might have better odds at getting a vaccine here in Kerala.
Kerala is
I
difficult.
still have not gotten my first shot, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off. I have been telling people, hey, don't be anti-vax, you're being stupid. And these people get their vaccine shots before me. And here, in this state of utter desperation, anger, anxiety, stress, I would say this: if you put your money where your mouth is, if you're anti-vax, don't get it. Don't let your family get it. Let people like me who need vaccine get it, man. I think it's gonna help me. Might help me live another 10, 20 years.
Bro,
God damn, dude.
bro,
Yeah.
And to
another argument I've heard with these anti-vaxxers is you get COVID. Even if
Oh,
you're
wait. I
vaccinated,
was
you
gonna
get
bring
COVID.
that up. Yeah. I
You
was
know,
gonna talk
but
about that.
but yeah, you do get COVID, but are you able to manage the symptoms much more better after vaccination or before vaccination? That's the question you need to ask
No,
yourself,
so there's a big
right?
misconception, right? That people think that once you get your vaccination, right, you'll
absolutely.
never get COVID. Like that is
Yeah,
just
It's
yeah.
magic, dude.
false.
It's Expelliarmus,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Permanent Expelliarmus. It's
Yeah.
just a defense.
Yeah,
It's just a better defense.
I mean, that just
Yeah.
shows, right? Like how people do not read or are so unaware of what a vaccine truly is, right? No, people, you are not safe from, you are not safe completely from COVID. What happens is that if you do catch it because you were careless or you were in contact with something or the other, you can catch it, but the intensity, the severity of it does come down drastically, and it makes
Yep.
the doctors, the medical, it makes their life easier to treat you.
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It gives us a fighting chance. That's all it does.
exactly.
Exactly.
It just gives us a fighting chance. It's not an
Exactly.
assurance by any means. I may get both the best of the COVID vaccines out there, internationally approved, get my visa, vaccination visa, and everything sorted, but very well die from COVID because it definitely is just a very difficult thing for a medicine to have consistent properties and effects on 7 billion people.
Mm.
That is just way too much data to, I mean, genetic data to kind of account for.
Within
This is
such a
the
short period of time to roll out the vaccine and all those
record
things.
record
Yeah.
vaccine creation, and I think
Yeah.
it only because of our technological prowess at this
Advancement.
given
Yeah.
point in time
Exactly.
we were able to do it in 1 year.
Yeah.
If this virus was bought out say in 2000, we wouldn't have had a vaccine even now because back then genetic engineering or genetic engineering, genetic decoding, nomenclature of all this, breaking down a genome, none of this was done back. There's a genetic decoding stuff, so you can put any DNA into it and it'll decode the entire blueprint out for you. It's difficult, it's arduous, it takes time, but we have the technology to do that now,
Yeah.
and that is why we have the vaccine today. In record time, in no point in history has a vaccine been created this efficiently this far.
Yeah.
Again, not speaking towards the big pharma. I think even Pfizer, they're making $15 billion profits conservatively.
Pfizer. Yeah.
Who? Pfizer?
Yeah,
Okay.
Pfizer. Pfizer. Pfizer.
Mm.
conservatively, they are like giving out discounts, all that free vaccination. Still, they're still making 15 billion. So,
Listen,
imagine
to be honest, it's an inevitable, what do you say, thing to happen. Like, none of us support big pharma. The only thing is that they make our medicine, so we have to.
have
It's
to
a
kind of
situation.
abide by.
It's a situation where we don't have another better alternative. But being stupid about it, telling nah, we don't want to make money for the big farmers and all, when like the country that I live in, the government is actively giving free vaccines to the residents and the citizens. So just go ahead and take it. It's not Linoy, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
No.
bro. But
I'm
Yes.
actually going to go
yeah,
back to
I
Bangalore for this now.
I
I actually made a
I am actually like I don't want to like give my money to the pharma companies. I don't want to be a person who eventually be highly reliant on pills, medications. I
true,
don't want to be that.
true,
I am
yeah.
never ever advocating that for
true.
anybody. Try to like know what your intake, what you're putting into your body, right? Always know what you're
Yeah,
taking. But the
yeah,
vaccine, please take it. Like that's it. Just take it. Like it's
yeah.
If not for yourself, for everyone around you,
yeah.
for
Around
all the
you,
doctors who are
exactly,
treating you,
And
just be
exactly.
a little
and
nice.
also people need to know this after you get your first shot, continue to stay safe. Continue to isolate as much as
Yeah,
you can. Continue to practice social
Permanent equality
distancing
harmless.
because after you get your first shot, your immunity levels actually come down. That's why you have a higher chance of actually catching the virus, right? That's why people
yeah,
do
Exactly.
catch the virus, right? Stay at home after you get vaccinated. You don't go out and party. Don't go out and hug people. Don't go out and touch things. Like it is still the
yeah.
same life of quarantine. Like
Exactly.
just be smart about it.
Absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
at least if 70%, say like in for India example, at least if they can vaccinate north of 70% of the population, then we can think of finally going back to a normal life, right?
I think what all that we can do is a if you have the opportunity or if you have the privilege or you have the chance by whatever means, corporate, law, uh, charity, whatever, get the vaccine. Let's better all of our odds, and hopefully we can come back to a time where I can go out. I'm a hugger, dude. I don't. As much as I love handshakes, I'm a hugger, and I
I'm gonna
cannot
be
think of
like
a
this
life.
with Linoy. No.
I'm gonna wear a PPE suit in front of you, brand new PPE suit. I'll give you a monster hug and then burn that suit. But I'll not stop hugging people. I
I'm
love
kidding,
hugs.
bro. I'm kidding, bro. We started hugging people over here already. Even though I have,
It is
even though I'm a little scared to do it, but then yeah, okay, whatever.
it is good. That is good. Being scared is a fundamental mechanism that kind of helps us make better choices in
Yeah.
our day-to-day lives. But I don't want to live in a world where you can't hug people, man. That is personally someone I think that physical action has a lot of emotional and mental implications to us. And it's something that I can't wait. I can't wait to start hugging a few friends of mine, people that I care for, people I don't care for. A random hug with a stranger,
Yeah,
even that is
I'm
amazing.
not about that. I think what I am is I think I've formed my tribe and I'll hug my tribe, and after beyond that, I'm not really interested. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Oh,
else, guys, is there? Yeah,
I'm gonna bring up something. It's a useless topic, a big change from what we were just discussing, but something
yeah.
in something entertainment sports like we discussed, like Logan Paul and Mayweather happened. Like, did you know that there was a TikTok YouTuber event that happened? Boxing match happened.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, I didn't follow it or anything. I just saw it on social media
So
that
again,
Aus.
on the whole shenanigans of this whole exhibition matches and all this stuff, right? But I don't want to talk about that particular event particularly and all that stuff. But so you know KSI, right, the YouTuber. So
Yeah, JJ.
his
Yeah.
yeah JJ. So his kid brother Deji fought on that card, and
Oh,
basically
really?
he's the only YouTuber to lose to a TikToker. Everybody else lost to the YouTubers. So it was 6-1 basically,
Okay.
7 matches, and it was 6-1 for YouTubers. Okay, so
Okay.
Deji was and
Okay.
Deji like when this whole thing started, it was KSI, Logan Paul, and all, and before that Joe Weller and all that stuff, right? And Deji actually fought Jake Paul, who's now fighting Tyron Woodley and all that. And so this was supposed to be Deji's redemption match, and he got knocked out basically because, dude, what is crazy is because why I know about is only because in the history of boxing, right? Nobody's ever taken the knee to get a 10 count so that they could get a breather right after, yeah, in the middle of the second round. He was so gassed out that he took a knee on purpose so that he could get the 10-second count to catch his breath. I have never seen something like that. And then after that, so I follow KSI, right? I love the guy, I love JJ and all that. So he put up
Yeah.
a video message to his brother, okay, and gave him tough big brother love, okay, tough love. He like basically called him out saying, Deji, your work ethic is horrible. Like just flat
Also,
out horrible. Like back in the day, you were naturally gifted. You could like sprint, and you had speed. You didn't need to work hard. But Deji man, well, working hard trumps talent any day. Like, and it was like pretty inspirational. Okay,
Respect.
you should
Respect.
yeah,
Respect.
probably
respect,
and you
respect.
should probably check out that video after this is done, right? I think like seeing a big brother like give it to his little brother straight was good to watch, and I think it was quite inspirational actually for
It's strong message.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you don't see
yeah,
that
it's
from
strong,
Logan Paul
definitely.
to Jake Paul though. How much ever Jake Paul acts up,
No,
you'll
but
never see that.
true that. But then I'll give it. But Jake Paul is doing his thing, whether we agree with it or not. He is doing his thing and making his name out there. Where Deji, on the other hand, I think has just been chirping and not
Yeah.
making waves. Where
True.
KSI is
True.
on a whole other level. By the way, he released a
Yeah.
song called Holiday. He just
Okay,
released it.
He
It's
did.
number one on UK charts
gotta check
right
it out.
now, and
And he has no features on it, right?
no features on it
He
yet.
knows how to make
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
He knows how to
No
make
features.
bangers, dude.
No,
No, but
apparently, so this is the first track that he's made without any features, and when he
no.
put out the pro,
He's had few songs
no, he,
where like
he had.
songs like Domain and all these songs
Yeah,
have are singles and
Okay,
all that.
I think okay, this is where I got it confused because in the promo clip that he put before the video coming out, he said, "This is the first song that I've put in a long time without a feature," and you
Yeah,
guys all thought KSI is all about the features,
features.
but I
Yeah.
hope I prove you guys wrong with this track and stuff like that. So that's why I think I got that mixed up. But yeah,
In this track, Holiday, the man is singing. He's not rapping. He's
yeah, he's singing,
singing.
he's not rapping.
He's singing. Like that's insane,
gotta
dude.
check
Yeah,
it out. Gotta check it out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So check out.
He
Auto tune
has
for
good voice.
life.
I'm not gonna lie. He has good voice. He had an acoustic. He
Auto
had a
tune for
song that
life.
had an acoustic.
Yeah, of with that
No,
Ella
the
Henderson, right?
Ella Henderson. Oh
Yeah.
my God, what was that song
Uh,
called? I can't remember it.
don't play something like that. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, something beautiful track. The acoustic cover of that thing was absolutely beautiful, and even his work was short, crisp. I don't think there was much auto tune over there,
Yeah.
and I think the guy can deliver. I think it's a skill that he's been working on for a long time. He's
I'll
doing well.
I'll give the guy like the
Shout
guy's
out, man.
got guts to
Yeah, yeah.
take on projects which is just so
He has that mentality, dude. You
yeah
can't beat mentality. You
yeah
can't beat mentality.
yeah.
No
As you
man,
said,
look,
man,
okay,
Huh.
hard work
his,
beats
his
talent.
channel His channel's got 22 million subscribers. The
Yep,
Sidemen channel's got something
10 million.
10 to 11 million subscriber. All the people in his
His
in the
second channel
Sidemen
has
crew
10
has
million.
got yeah. His second channel has 10 million. His all the people in his Sidemen crew has about a million subscribers in
Yeah,
their individual YouTube pages. So I think he's cracked the code when it comes to content creation on YouTube, and I think his work ethic
Yeah,
shows
dude.
that. So yeah, he's like I remember when MKBHD hit 10 million subscribers. That was such a huge moment, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a huge moment for him as a YouTuber. But 10 million subscribers is nothing for a guy like KSI, you see.
Yeah,
So you
he
see
hit
the
it
stark
early,
difference,
man.
you know.
He hit
He
it
hit it
early.
really early. So he's doing
Yeah.
something right. He's doing something right. Maybe it's just the fact that he's doing everything. He's doing music, he's doing
Nah,
prank videos,
I
he's
think.
doing content creation and on a
Yeah.
It all
completely
started with his FIFA
open.
days, though.
Yes,
FIFA.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
exactly. It's like an
He was a
open
gamer.
platform for him, to be honest. Like he
Yeah,
does everything, whereas there are people like MKBHD and all who are very specialized in what they do. But yeah,
yeah.
hopefully we get there one day, and that's the dream. And I'm pretty sure we can get there if all of you who are listening to us right now like, subscribe, and share. And let the average human's good vibes go out into the world. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the only thing that we are also going to do. We have a lot of things planned down the line.
Yep.
We have the reaction kind of videos that we want to do. We want to do a lot of scripted stuff that hopefully we can build up on our production. Right now we are living remotely in three
Yep.
different locations, and we are not together to create all these videos that we would like to do. But hopefully as technology improves, we might be able to do it also remotely. You never know.
Nah, man, I
So
want the three of
on
us under one roof and shooting, dude. We need
yeah,
that
Oh,
happen.
definitely,
dude, that
definitely.
was
That's
be
the dream.
dope
That's the
as
Yeah.
hell.
definite dream. That's for sure the definite dream. Living at the stone's throw away from each other. We would definitely were thinking about what you say, inviting people over to our show, having an open discussion with them also about different topics that they might be interested. They might specialize in something, or they might just be the average human crowd, just like us, right?
Yeah.
So we are open to everything. So hopefully you guys can keep communicating with us. Like I said, like, subscribe, and share. That's one of the most important things that you can do for us right now. It's not going to cost you
Absolutely.
anything. Let our message get out there and let the vibes spread throughout the interworld, and let people get to know us, and we get to know the more average consumers who listen to us. And like I said, hope this works out the way we dream it to work out. And on that note, this is AbdulWajid Ali. Hope you guys had a good year, and hope to listen to you guys soon enough on your feedbacks.
He's AbdulWajid, I'm Advaith.
I'm Linoy, and we will see you all very soon. Bye
And we need
bye.
to work out on our
Yeah,
outro even more.
this man just wouldn't let me catch on, dude. I'm AbdulWajid. He had to blabber on.
Yeah, he just signed off for everyone. It's okay. We'll
Oh
get
god.
All right.
watch out for the episode 4. We'll definitely do the ending better. Take care, everyone.
See you
Good
guys.
night.
See you guys.
Take
Take
care. Bye
care.
bye.
Take
Good
care.
night,
Bye.
guys. Yalla. Bye bye.